Happy Friday, witches. Today's card pull is from our Witch Oracle card deck. Written by Angie Sullins. Artwork is by Silas Tobal. The note from the Witch's Almanac is that the moon is in Scorpio. Divine Masculine. Chances are, unless you are one of the very few lucky ones, you weren't raised with a living example of the divine masculine embodied. There are many messages in our culture right now that bombard men with what they should or should not be, and what they're required to do is ditch their inner feminine divine in order to be perceived as being tough and powerful. I mean, think about it. You used to hear people say all the time, "Oh, you throw like a girl. Oh, you hit like a girl." That isn't an offensive thing, but because of the way society taught it, they took it that way. Often the men in our worlds often contort themselves to meet the unrealistic demand of that toxic masculinity. And we weren't exposed to what healthy traits of masculinity looked like. What do they look like? It's balanced leadership, conscious protection, and healthy assertiveness were and still are at this time in short supply. Because of that, the masculine voice, or our divine masculine, has a tendency to be very critical and harsh and domineering. Your feminine, your inner feminine divine, deserves an inner masculine divine who's encouraging, leading, and is challenging to your femininity, but also downright worships you. A witch knows that she may have not been raised with a good example of this divine masculine, but it is her job to discover a means of growing him within herself. We all have an inner feminine and an inner masculine divine, and often we are so focused on our inner goddess that the inner god is overlooked, neglected, or ignored. We have to be willing to release those toxic thoughts and ideas that are inside our head. And we need to be willing to embrace the fierce, wild God that is residing within ourselves so that we can hold our femininity, our feminine divine, in those great protective arms. Right now, we need to banish the drill sergeant of the psyche and formulate a new relationship that encourages the divine male presence within you. How would that look? What would it be like to have a loving person inside of you, a masculine that is loving and caring, but not controlling? This card is challenging us to be more aware of that inner masculine divine. Well, we have to start setting boundaries and having better relationships with him. Maybe it's time to start reconnecting with that inner divine by loving the masculine, kicking out the toxic one, but keeping the loving divine masculine within us. One of the plethora of reasons is because the toxic masculinity has been revered, honored, and basically taught as a good example, and I'm using air quotations lightly there, of what a masculine person would look like. We're just now realizing how much damage this perspective is, not only to the women of the world, but also to Mother Earth as well. We need to honor our inner masculine divine in a different way, evicting the toxic and welcoming in the loving, and allowing the leadership and worshiping our inner masculine divine as we would our inner feminine divine.